Hi, it's Joel and Ben again, looking at the next area of emotional intelligence in our 50 tips for uncertain times. This area is about relationship management. And of all the different tips, this is sort of like where the rubber meets the road, where you're not just practicing self-awareness or looking at your strengths, you're actually helping to manage conflict, helping to read the situation, helping the team to navigate things. So there's a lot in this section that we wish we had more time for.
Of everything we talk about, this is the broadest skill set. We could easily do a series of workshops on the areas of influence and conflict and negotiation.
And Lord knows, with everything that's happening in the world, people could use a lot of relationship management, right? So as we talk about these, you'll notice that the first one is take time to analyze a past situation or interaction. And that's important, is that instead of just going from one conflict or one relationship problem to another, pause, stop, and reflect. So that's tip 35. But it's tip number 36 that's so important. For many people now, for whatever reason, they may not be part of a team. There are people who may be working from home. A lot of work interactions are mediated by meetings through Zoom or Microsoft Teams. It's so important to look for opportunities to be part of a team and find ways to talk and learn from others. We strongly recommend things like having breakout groups when you're doing online meetings, but there are many creative ways here. So practice all the skills, everything that you've learned up until now, and we've covered 35 tips in the real world through relationship management.
Tip 37 says use a range of approaches in these areas of negotiation, conflict, influence, and so on. And the idea there in particular is that we want to balance gaining an understanding of the other person's point of view, as well as asserting or stating our own perspective. Just like in a conversation with a friend, you're going to have that give and take of different ideas, different perspectives. And so I think we can all be continually expanding our toolkit in the approaches and techniques that we use, particularly when we're in situations of conflict and negotiation. And the final tip, 38, talks about aim to be a positive influence to others. And I love that idea that regardless of our personality and our temperament, whether you're more expressive or more low-key,
he's talking about me and him.
So we can be still a positive influence on others. We can set that positive expectation. We can communicate how we're connecting with people and how we really expect the best out of each interaction that we're a part of.
So having that positive expectations brings us back to our very first tip, right? That growth mindset. Bringing that into relationships, into teams, into meetings. You never know what's going to happen. You might set a tone for people. There's magic that can happen. You might go into a situation, and many of us feel anxious going into a meeting, or are concerned or are afraid, or something was said in the previous meeting. So that's where relationship management becomes important, and you can make a big difference there. This last tip wraps up everything we've been talking about in the area of emotional intelligence. And we're finishing this area to move on to the alignment. We've looked at strengths, and we're going to look at how emotional intelligence and strengths play off of each other. It's really an incredible next set of tips, and we look forward to seeing you there.